I think it's always a good idea to start with the very meaningful word of shalom, which not only indicates peace, but also a certain completeness, a certain wholeness. And that is the word with which I'd like to greet you this morning. Let us sit in each other's silence again, and please join me in doing that. It is always a good idea to start by just making sure you're sitting in an open posture. Mystical spirituality invites a certain openness, and therefore, even in our posture, in the way that we're sitting here, in the way that we arrive here this morning, let us signify that openness. And this morning, when we sit like this, let us just, first of all, become aware of our breathing again. Breathing has become such an important, such a significant spiritual element. With COVID and everything that it came to steal from us, one of those things was certainly breath. And therefore, let us celebrate breathing as a spiritual element which will always remind us of life and mercy. As we're sitting here this morning and you become aware of your breathing, just take a deep breath and allow that breath to nourish you. And if you can, also nourish you spiritually by reminding you of life and God's grace. Breathing deeply. And as you breathe in deeply and you breathe right into your core, perhaps you can even be reminded that you are filled with life. Life as a gift. Life as a divine gift. And this morning, I'd like us to once again just remind ourselves of our groundedness, being grounded in the love of God, and to symbolize that, to remind us of that, just become aware of your feet on the floor. And as your feet are resting on the floor, surrender to that. You might even feel a certain heaviness as you're surrendering to that resting of your feet on the ground. And surrender also suggests openness. And now you might have an experience of opening up to being rooted to the flow of the love of God into your being. And allow that to be physical reality for you this morning. Rest in that. Come home to that. Share that. As we're all connected. As we're all connected to the love of God as our grounding. And perhaps you might sense a certain community, a certain connectedness amongst ourselves this morning. Breathing deeply again. And I'd like you to breathe in, and every time you breathe in, experience a certain upwards extension, a certain upliftment. Breathe in and imagine you're getting longer, taller as you do. As you experience a certain upliftment. As you breathe out, perhaps you can experience a certain extension, expanding of presence, of your presence. And then, as you settle into that, and that becomes your spiritual practice of centering yourself as being, as part of this creation, this wonderful creation of God, but mostly as an image bearer of God. Let us center ourselves in our being image bearers of God, even as we become love. So breathe in, experience a certain upliftment. Breathe out, experience a certain expansion. And then thirdly, just rest in that. Settle in that. As you confirm being centered in the love of God. In these times, this morning I'd like us to sit and contemplate the following text from Psalm 59. As it is still early in the day, I'd like us to rest in this and allow this to become a song of joy with which we enter this day. I'm just reading verse 16. But I will sing of your strength in the morning. I will sing of your love. For you are my fortress, my refuge in times of trouble. But I will sing of your strength. In the morning, I will sing of your love. For you are my fortress, my refuge in times of trouble. Let us sit and rest in that as we share that, as we sit in each other's silence, as we experience a certain connection around that singing of the love of God in the morning. Take a few minutes, just let us sit in each other's silence and rest in that. Breathe in deeply again and allow every breath to confirm that certain peace, the shalom in your life. And as you go hence, just bear that, carry that with you as a very special gift of grace, of love. Thank you.